Do I have a recipe for carbonara? I absolutely have a recipe for carbonara. So let's get to it. Starting out in a cold pan, a little bit different than most recipes. You start out in a cold pan anytime you want to render fat. Get a cold pan on a stove, medium heat, put in some olive oil here, and then get your pancetta or guanciale, what you're using, in the pan and start that rendering process. Break it up, switch it around, swirl it, get it going. Here I'm using pancetta. Normally, traditionally, it would be guanciale for a carbonara, but it's super hard to find guanciale. Honestly, I live in a foodie city. I live in Chicago, and it's hard to find guanciale for me. So, by all means, use pancetta. And also, quite honestly, uh, bacon. American bacon works fabulous for this too. It leaves a smoky taste. I know, Grandma, sorry about that, but American bacon is great. So get this rendering. If it starts sizzling up a little bit too much, you can turn that down to medium low. Swish it around. Make sure everything's nice, and get that fat rendered, because that's going to become a part of the sauce that you want to make and that you're going to enjoy. So meanwhile, while that's rendering down, you can get your egg and cheese mixture ready. So in a bowl, what you want to do is you want to crack one whole egg, and then you get that egg chip out of there, the eggshell out of there, make sure you don't get that in there, and then crack two more egg yolks. So get rid of the egg whites. You can use them for an omelet, but who is actually doing that? No one's actually doing that. You're just throwing them in the garbage, which I hate. It's food waste, right? But, who's actually using it? And you're going to maybe break an egg, which I did right there because I'm on camera. I'm a little nervous and, so don't worry about it, guys. We're real cooking here. It's live cooking. You just go get yourself another egg and put it in there. So then you want to mix up the whole egg and those two egg yolks. Get them nice and nice, and you're going to add your cheese to it. Traditionally, it's Pecorino Romano, so that's what I'm using here. You want to make sure you have fresh grated. Really important that you have quality ingredients here, because there's so few ingredients in a carbonara or any of these Roman pasta recipes that I'm going to be showing you. Very few ingredients. You got to make sure they're good quality ingredients. So Pecorino Romano goes in. If you like Parmesan Reggiano, by all means, you can add that. Or if you want some blend of the two, by all means, go for it. Have fun. These are the way I make it, but if you want to make it a little differently, you want to experiment, or you got something different in your fridge, go for it. Don't go out and just buy something special. If you got something in your fridge, you can use it. We're all on a budget here. So once you got your paste ready, you can set it aside. You're good to go there. Keep on rendering that guanciale. Make sure you swirl it around. You just want to make sure that that fat, as much of that fat gets rendered out as possible. So you're doing this over like a medium-low heat, medium-low heat. You don't want a super high heat for this. Keep it moving. The fat's going to come out. Turn it down if you feel it's getting a little too hot, and just get that fat out of there, because that fat is going to become a crucial part of your sauce when you come to make the sauce. So make sure you get it nice and rendered, and make sure, I like to crisp up the pancetta or the guanciale. My camera broke there. I was using a new camera app, so I had to go to the store, get more pancetta, and start over again. So that's what you see me doing here. This one rendered out a whole bunch more fat. You see a ton of fat in there. So what we do here is we take the pancetta or the guanciale or the bacon, whatever you've just rendered out, take it, put it on a paper towel, reserve it for later. At this point, it should be nice and crisp. I'd say like tender crisp is what you're shooting for. But if you want to take it like hard crisp, or you want it a little less, by all means, go for it. Now, there's quite a bit of oil in that pan, so I'm going to take a little bit out. So typically for like a half pound of pasta, which is what I typically make, which feeds two people or one very, very hungry person, you're going to use about a third of a cup of fat there, I would say, give or take. It all depends on how unctuous you want to make it. You just don't want a ton of fat, if you're watching your calories. Although if you're eating this, you ain't watching your calories, because there is a lot of calories in this meal. This is not a weekly meal. I mean, if it is, God bless you, but it's probably not a weekly meal. So there I got my pasta. I cooked it in a shallow pot because I want to have that really starchy water. So that's a little trick there. We can talk more about that in another video. But get that pasta into that pan. You're going to hear it sizzle up. Don't be afraid of that. It's absolutely okay if it sizzles up. You're going to stir it around. You want that fat to get all over that pasta. So that's all flavor. That's all getting on there. The reason why I cooked that pasta in such a shallow pan is I wanted that water to get super starchy. When you cook it in a restaurant, they're cooking pasta over and over again in the same pot, so that water gets super starchy. So kind of a workaround on that is just cook it in less water than you normally would. You're going to cook that pasta to al dente. You're going to put a little bit of pasta water in there, and then you're going to put your egg and cheese mixture in. That heat is off on that burner. You don't need any more heat. There is enough heat in that pan. Once you get that egg and cheese mixture in there with the water, you start stirring and flipping vigorously because you need to make that sauce and you don't want scrambled eggs. So stir it vigorously. You see that luscious sauce there really coming together, the emulsification. It looks delicious. My mouth is watering right now. It looks so good. You want that sauce to be a little looser than you would think because it's going to tighten up. By the time you plate it and get it to the table, it's going to tighten up. So make it just a little bit looser than what you would think. And then you're ready to put the pancetta back in there. So put the pancetta back in, reserving just a little bit for garnish on the top. You're going to flip it around, make it all nice, or use the tongs if you want here. I'm flipping it, but I'm not doing a great job of it because I'm thinking about the camera. Oh, look at that. The camera went out on me again. Jesus. Anyway, sorry, Grandma. So, unfortunately, guys, you're stuck with this shot here, and it's a snapshot that I took, but you can see you plate it up real nice in a warm bowl. You twist it around, you put a little extra Pecorino Romano on there, a little extra pepper, and you put the reserved pancetta or guanciale that you had on top, and let's eat. It's time. If you want this recipe or more, by all means, follow me on my YouTube channel. All recipes are there. Talk soon.